You're listening to Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall on CJAD 800.
That is James Mennie. He is over at the Montreal Gazette. Jim, I guess we can start today with that big announcement, which I think yesterday Pierre Fitzgibbon in our interview telegraphed. Right this out in Bécancour. Ford apparently making its first major investment ever in Quebec. The premier was out there. He had this to say.
I want to thank you for your confidence. I'm happy to see you in Quebec. So for me, it's really special. I hope it's just the beginning. But really, the best place to invest is Quebec.
Oh, my goodness. So there you go. François Legault, the government's forking out, about $320 million? So are the feds. Jim, what do you think?
Okay, first of all, my big announcement is I'm going to go run off and work at the battery factory, because it works out to $1.8 million a job that they're creating. More than half of the $1.2 billion price tag for this battery parts plant is being footed by the taxpayer.
Yep.
Half is coming from Quebec, half is coming from Ottawa. But there's only one taxpayer, so let's call a spade a spade. The other thing that gets me in all of this is this is an American, company, Ford. I got nothing against them. As well as some Korean, I presume, South Korean companies are part of this consortium. How much do you want to bet? Do you want to bet $344 million that Bill 96 will be an amusing little, pizza brochure for this company? Do you honestly believe that getting people to come into Bécancour, and you're going to have experts, it's not everybody knows how to slap these things together, that we're going to turn around and see the same kind of, how can I put it delicately, the same controls to ensure the survival of the French language applied to this multi-billion-dollar behemoth as in other companies are going after people who've got, websites that don't have to be in French. This, of course, it wasn't a question that was asked this morning, because you don't ask the premier questions like that, apparently, when he's spending $1/3 billion of our dollars. But the bottom line here, guys, is that we don't know if this is going to work. We really don't. And when I say this, I'm talking about electric vehicles. It's great to talk, they're making all kinds of them. That's great. But, how long does it take to charge an electric vehicle? Because I've done my best to sort of go through all I get an estimate of anywhere from, a few hours to half a day. How long does the charge last? There are so many unknowns here. No wonder EVs are not making that big a dent. And I know the government's trying to give you all kinds of incentives to use them. I'm not entirely sure this increasing bubble, is not going to burst in our own faces. But to see the feds, and I'm equally angry with them, and the province, throw more than $500 million of our money to create less than 400 jobs in an industry that, as far as I'm concerned, has yet to truly establish itself as a force in our economy, is nothing short of dangerously reckless.
It's very funny you say that, Jim, because when I brought up this story early in the afternoon, I kind of wondered out loud, technology moves so fast these days. Here we are spending all this money because we have lithium in Quebec, building lithium batteries for EVs. What happens in 2, 3, 5 years from now when lithium will be like the old technology, and it'll be something new that we don't even know about now? We've invested all this money in something that'll be outdated. I mean,
which could happen
is that a consideration?
Ostensibly before this plant's even open.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'd like to say it's Quebec's joie de vivre, our fine cuisine.
All right, okay. Our festivals.
Our beautiful sunsets.
Yeah.
They're bringing us money here. Aaron, you hit the nail on the head. We got lithium out of our ears, okay? That's the only reason this company is coming here. And you're 100% right. What is going to happen down the road when you suddenly discover that your 35-pound Motorola phone is no longer the cutting edge of communications that they thought it was? And the same thing is selling for 1/10 the price and maybe 1/15 the weight. I mean, this is it. There are so many unknowns here. And yet somehow they're both, and Monsieur Champagne, our federal industry minister, he's thumping his chest as well. And it's like François Legault and his usual cassette, they job payant. They better be payant. If we're spending more than $500 million to create 345 of them, they better be very good paying jobs. But all that said, we have no idea if this is going to work. And quite frankly, I think the real reason François Legault is smiling ear to ear is that this plant is going to be located deep in the heart of Cackland. They don't put the songs of Quebec for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Keeping the regions happy. I feel like this segues nicely into your other headline that I just love. Is Pierre Fitzgibbon the CAQ's wild weasel?
Now, do you guys know
explain.
what wild weasel is?
No.
From where?
Oh, my goodness. I first encountered the term back in 91 when I was covering the first Gulf War.
Okay.
But it's a tactic that the U.S. Air Force used, actually began in Vietnam. You take a small plane, you arm it with radar-seeking missiles, and rather than send your full attack in, you send these little planes in, and they draw all the fire. They draw, and they also reveal the enemy's
Well, where the
position.
fire's coming from. Oh,
I was
I see.
thinking
Okay.
about that because I know we discussed what Fitzgibbon said earlier this week about slashing the number of cars by half. I don't know. There has been a huge explosion of debate over this whole issue, certainly in the French language media, and it runs from how dare some guy who's running around in a limousine tell me to get rid of my car, to others saying, well, listen, we complain when politicians don't want to take a stand. Here's somebody taking a stand and forcing a debate, and all of a sudden we're saying, no, you should shut up and be quiet and whatever. As I said, I think this is nothing more than mise en scène from the Legault government to sort of cover themselves when it becomes clear they're not going to meet their greenhouse gas reduction targets, and also that there's absolutely no way Quebecers will slash their car park in half between now and 2050, or as I said yesterday, between now and 2100. But it does put the issue on the map. People are talking about it, and frankly, please, this is the CAC have been governing by coal since day one. I can absolutely assure you that if they determine the majority of Quebecers do not want to give up their cars, at some point our favorite premier will stand up and say the people of Quebec have spoken. They don't want to give up their cars, so we'll have to find a way around that.
I mean, he kind of already said that, right? He was like, I'm not going to tell
for
people
all intents
what
and
to
purposes,
drive.
yeah. What did you make?
Yeah,
Did,
but
you saw
he was kind of pussyfooting around. We'd like to have measures and this and that. The clock is ticking. It's like the monsoon season. Did you guys get hit with that rainfall this afternoon?
Yes.
Then suddenly it's sunny again?
Yeah.
It's Caribbean weather. We're in Quebec, and it's August.
I want to know what you made of someone.
Going on. But listen, more and more people are going to have that in their face, and that may perhaps be the most eloquent argument about, down the road, not giving up your car, but certainly using it a lot less. Mm-hmm. But there are so many unknowns here, guys, and whether it's EVs or what the alternatives are, whether the REM's going to work. In the meantime, people are just trudging through day to day. They don't have the time or perhaps even the inclination to spend as much time looking at these issues as we do. But the fact of the matter is, in the end, they will be the final arbiters of this question. And if nothing else, at least Pierre Fitzgibbon sort of shook the cage a bit, walked away. Will we still be talking about this next week? Probably not, but it certainly isn't an issue that's going to go away.
Jim, 30 seconds. I want to know what you made of that picture posted today of Pierre Fitzgibbon proudly standing next to his BMW motorcycle.
Pretty fancy.
Well, I guess. I mean, it's cool. I like motorcycles. I love motorcycles. Never drive one, but as pieces of engineering, I think they're magnificent. My opinion of Pierre Fitzgibbon is somewhat more mitigated, but all that said, you're talking to the wrong guy. I love bikes.
No, I mean just the fact that here he is talking about nothing on the roads, right? And all of a sudden he's
It's
standing
not
next to
even
this beautiful gas-powered motorcycle.
But that's totally who he is.
Any motorcycles will tell you, even today, you get a lot more mileage out of a bike than you'll get probably out of an electric vehicle.
Yeah. James Mennie, Montreal Gazette. Thank you, Jim.
Adam.